Welcome everybody. Good evening, and tonight's matchup is going to be between Revenant Esports and Tenacity Gaming here on Consulate. To begin our ban phase, we're going to see Thatcher rid of. Pretty typical at this point. All teams should be prepared for a Thatcher ban. Most are at this point in the meta. Next, I'm going to predict probably either a Capitao ban or perhaps a Nomad ban. If they're yeah, there you go. There goes Capitao. He's a great ban for Consulate as well, because there's a few positions on this map that you just really have to hold on to for dear life. For instance, on the top floor site, you really need to stay locked down inside of the projector room or meeting room, whatever you would call it. And Capitao Firebolt can just easily displace an op and get them killed. So with that ban underway, we see nothing too surprising here. Valkyrie also banned by Tenacity, or by Revenant rather. Whenever you're attacking first on the Consulate, I think Valkyrie, in my opinion, is perhaps the smartest ban, because even with IQ, those Valk cams can end up in trees that are so high up because of how IQ scanner works. You won't be able to detect it until you're right underneath it, basically. And you won't even get a chance to get that close because the intel will be transferred and you'll be hopped out on. So we'll see Valkyrie, and then Mira, as is tradition, is also removed from the game. Interesting lineup. We see the Mute, the Goyo, and the Jaeger, but no Wamai and no Mozzie. Instead, we're going to opt for Maestro to make up for some of the intel lost by the Valkyrie ban, and Kaid, because they will be going garage first. They're going to need to lock down that triple wall, but or rather, I guess the hatches is what they're going to go for instead. 2 hatches that lead to the sites will be electrified to deny the hard breach.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
I'm interested to see, nice champion charm. I'm interested to actually see whether or not the defense is going to opt to open the bathroom hatch and play the Mute player inside of bathroom, as we've seen from a few Pro League teams and just higher level competitive teams in general, or if they're gonna instead opt to reinforce them and then electro claw them.
Initiate jammer.
We see some Goyo utility being placed upstairs, and now that he only has 2 shields rather than 3, that does show a higher level of investment, looking to be a 3-4 roam. And here we go. As I had aforementioned, we're going to see the reinforcements into bathroom go down, where Mute and his M590A1 shotgun will be positioned. Our second Goyo shield will be not placed there, but rather closer in the doorway, so that Mute does have more cover. Jammers to deny the drone intel gather, and the hatch is opened, so that in the end, all he has to do is waste as much time as possible, scare the attackers a bit with his shotgun, and then once his life is threatened, ultimately he will return to site via that hatch. I think it's a very solid hold. It saves you a reinforcement, sorta, kinda, but more importantly, it really wastes time and lends itself towards the current meta that we find ourselves in. See yellow stairs control, acquired by the Thermite. Ash and the Zofia are already upstairs in the spiral hall by a long desk. The support players, the Buck and Sakuse, joining on the top floor. Buck now maintaining control of piano. Aware that Mute is in there. Pretty common strat by now. They're probably not caught off guard by it. Simply being aware of a strat is different than having an effective counter for it. So we'll see what the attack can do. I believe a nade of some sort, or perhaps an Ash charge. Third floor control now gained by the attackers. We'll see how they get control of bathroom. Control Freak goes down. There's your Thermite taken out by Jaeger. That's a fantastic pick, to say the least. The triple garage door will no longer be open to this round. Pretty devastating, and it's going to need to be a back push or simply a storm down the yellow staircase now. And frankly, if Revenant's not able to find a couple of easy picks onto these roamers or through their soft breach, this is going to be a rough round for them for sure. Creative angle being made by the Ashe and the Buck in unison, but it won't yield them a kill. 40 seconds remaining on the clock. This is getting dire for them. Flashes fly through the air, a couple of whiffed ones though, and that's gonna hurt you. Zonky, second kill of the round, takes out Nomad outside the same door he got the kill on Thermite on. The third for him, to removing the head of Buck. Fantastic kill from Zonky. Og now breaking the Ace's chance, and the 4K comes out from Zonky. Flawless round from TG. It genuinely looked like once Thermite died early on in the round, they didn't really know what to do. So Revenant simply tried to make the soft breach work. They tried to displace the mute, were unsuccessful, and then kind of just said, well, let's rush down yellow stairs and hope for the best. But unfortunately, Zonky does not miss those, and he will take down the entire team. Same lineups, we didn't really see any adaptations come out from either team.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Apologies for a bit of a technical lag issue. I'm not quite sure what's going on. We're gonna move up to the upstairs site now, as is pretty standard. If you're not gonna go here first, you will usually come here second, at least. The same exact lineup. It seemed to work flawlessly. They stalled upstairs and the attacker was not able to push through Revenant's defenses.
10 seconds to go.
Or TG's defenses, pardon.
5 seconds left.
Not a whole lot of rotates into the break room closet, so they're not going to really hold on to admin for dear life, but they're going to put a couple of Goyo shields and mute jammers there to delay control. Fire with 3 ADS will be maintaining control of the yellow staircase for his team, and Zonky falls out of the round. We're going to rehost to get him back in here as soon as possible. Apologies about that. Technical issues do sometimes happen, but we will be back soon. Apologies there for the extended delay. Unfortunately, we did have a player disconnect pretty early. But no worries, we still have the rest of the game ahead of us. Both teams being sportsmanlike in the chat. We see some HFs come out. We'll return upstairs. Now, unfortunately, that the round is being replayed, and that means that the site has to be locked in is the same as well as the operator selection. Rev is now aware of where TG will be defending for this round. It's an unfortunate advantage for the defenders, but we'll see if Rev can make use of it, maybe plan out right now, discuss their mode of attack, or perhaps time things a bit quicker. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
Locate and defuse bombs.
But TG are also aware of this advantage, and maybe they might alter their setup to deceive Rev. There's a lot of counter play and mind games that both teams could deploy, but right now it looks pretty similar to before. Not much has changed. We see the same reinforcements, the same barbed wire coming out. It likely won't be a change in the strategy simply for a minor advantage like that. And honestly, attacking top 4 on Consulate is quite difficult. Even if you do know what the defenders will do, it's still very difficult to execute the attack. Getting control of the yellow staircase is a notoriously difficult little mini game, as well as trying to repel into the admin office without getting your head cut off. Ibana looking for a free pick onto the yellow staircase, but she won't be so lucky. Goyo, an interesting roaming operator choice, but we're going to see him fall back down towards the downstairs archives room. Nomad's air jabs will sail through the air and lock down the hop outs from the main lobby door, probably Visa door as well. Ash now prone in piano, whether there's a roamer, trying to maintain control so that her team, her buck, can enter the room and begin displacing the defenders above. A kill for Yaikel onto Zonky. The poor man was disconnected and then put down rather quickly. A good opening pick considering that he was the player to get the 4K in the first round of the game. So a great pickup by Yaikel. Utility wise, however, Jaeger's ADSs have already been placed, and so it's not too devastating of a loss, besides losing a top performing entry fragger. Og still here on the room, bottom spiral staircase, lurking and waiting for his time to strike. Skies now, top of the yellow staircase. Og gets the call, but Og's not peeking it. He doesn't see the Ash, but the Ash does see him cross, and now Og's position has been revealed. They know that there's a roaming Goyo beneath, and they know that they have to take care of him. We'll see if they actually decide to push the Goyo or simply ignore him. Og simply retreats back to site. The smart move, 4v5. You want to keep that. You don't want to become a 3v5, honestly. You don't want to make things worse. 40 seconds left. You've wasted a lot of time. So overall, despite losing a player, it's been a great roam so far for TG with only 30 seconds left to execute. The pressure is on for Rev. Nomad upside down repelled on connector window. Will deal some damage on the smoke player. Jones fought to check default plant. It all looks clear. Ash picks up a kill on the smoke.
15 seconds left.
Bathroom push. And the run up yellow stairs will occur, but Goyo and a Mutant now not just selling the plant from below. The plant is denied in the nick of time. Buck, though, refrags the player that dropped below. Ash moving through the connector gets the kill into Maestro, but plant did not go down. That round will go to the defenders, and Tenacity with just a narrow win. An interesting round to say the least. The early death by Yankee, not ideal, but Zonky rather. But in the end, it didn't seem to make a difference. Og, although not playing super aggressively, simply popped his head up spiral staircase from basement, made some noise, made the Ash, made the Buck look his way, and beware their flank. And even though nothing really happened, Og was able to effectively waste most of the round, leaving Rev 30 seconds to execute their attack. And once the player with the nitro cell, Mute, rotated down below to deny the plant and was successful, there was no time to clear the remainder of the anchors and get the plant down on time. It was honestly a pretty impressive push from Rev. I feel like if they had had maybe an extra half minute, they would have won that round, but TG played it smart. They played that 20-second meta, and they made it work. We're gonna go to Teller's Hold. We don't see this all too much. People usually decide that lobby is the easier to win site. But TG do not hold this belief. This site can be pretty devastating as long as you play with the Pulse and a castle to help you waste time. Legion also does help here. You have to deny the upstairs control or else lose all of the Visa. And you're gonna see Maestro here making some holes in the floor so that they can deny the plant from below. This hold traditionally requires a lot of intel, which is why we're going to see the Pulse as well as the Maestro. And if Valkyrie was unbanned, we'd likely be seeing her too.
Doorway barricaded.
Pulse looking for a free kill, looking for some intel. He'll see one player though. Fire elsewhere gets a kill. Looks like he was in bathroom, I believe. Not quite sure where he killed the Ash, but that's one free kill for Tenacity. Yeichel now on the spiral staircase looking for some sort of refrag, but a castle barricade will meet him. Castle now. And Piano simply trying to waste some more time. The main advantage has been gained by TG, so they can afford to lose this player. Playing aggressively, trying to find an easy kill. Or else just waste another minute. Sledge, though, tries to distract the castle and get him killed from above, but so far we see a bit of a stall out coming from the attack. They're trying to drone out, trying to get the intel. The castle's playing very fluid. Baiting them towards the bathroom. It's an interesting hold. Ven getting a kill on the Zonky, not quite sure where. That's Sledge taking down your Legion, and Castle now on 1 HP. Sledge is low for his troubles, but not quite as low. Sophia puts down the castle, but Mute is still hidden in the bathroom. His position is unknown. This should be an easy flank onto Sophia, but we'll see if Yeichel's keen to this flank. Ew, that's a disgusting shot. Good shot by Yeichel. Not sure if he heard the Mute maybe last second or simply just reacted to the SMG-11 fire. But Mute should have won that. Fire missing his shots and being punished severely for it. It's going to be a bottom take now for the attack as they know that there's 2 anchors that will remain, and that's all they must do. Kill these last 2 players and they win the round. Sophia sees Mesho's head, is not able to hit it. The Alda doing severe damage. Now you have 2 players on low HP from the attackers. Sakusei tries to take the challenge. Pulse. Holding a softer angle. Bana and Sledge decide that the plant upstairs is the move here. Evil Eye disposed of. The plant will go down. Maestro now with the Alda in hand puts down the plant. That's 2 for him. 10 bullets left to the reload has to happen. He doesn't know there's a player in sight. Sophia sees him last second, and unfortunately the Alda has a lot of bullets, but not quite enough it seems. But now we'll go to Rev. A great attack there from Revenant, and honestly some just great gunplay coming out from the Sophia player there, able to put down the castle and the Mute. Mute just unfortunately not able to hit his shots when it mattered the most. And although the Alda in the hands of Maestro almost clutched that round and brought them back from the brink, there just weren't enough bullets, and Rev is able to come back. You see the same exact setup we've seen. It looks like TG they have pretty fixed rules. They don't seem to be adapting very much. To be fair, they've won 2 of their 3 rounds so far, but we'll see if they decide to go to the same location or not. Oh, the full cycle is now complete. We return to garage. It's gonna look like the same exact hold we've seen before. No alternate strategy means that Rev will have an advantage here. They've seen it all before. Last time they know that there's no roamer in admin, there's no roamer in meeting room. And we'll see if they speed up the roam clear, speed up the top floor take in order to allow themselves more time to play the soft breach and get that triple wall open, like unlike last time where they were unable to because Thermite was picked off early.
5 seconds left before insertion.
We're gonna see the same reinforcements go in bathroom. They're saving some walls. There are 2 soft walls in bathroom, but even if they are open, there's a Goyo shield there to give you a little bit more cover.
Swapping mags.
Same exact take as before. We're gonna see Nomad and Ash ascend to the admin office and get control of top floor as quick as possible.
Drone activated.
Time is money here, and speed is the name of the game. Drones do fly out, but they're aware there was no roamer last time, but for the sake of thoroughness, they're going to double check. Both players rappel inside the building. Mute Jammer disposed of. The drones will continue to clear the top floor. Mute on the default cam spots the Sophia and long desk. The defense using the default cams to their advantage to track the pace of the attack, give Mute a heads up, and perhaps give Swift the signaled flank. Zonky here. A top entry fragger for TG, trying to cause some havoc make the attackers worry about him. Letting the clock tick down. The attackers now do have the top floor control, but still have no presence, really, in lobby or piano room. And when Mute's gonna... Oh, a default cam missed, it seems, by Rev. The default cam by the front gates, pinging the player outside that window. Ash whips the flash. Sledge is gonna come in to back her up. Nitro Cell flies out. No joy for the Mute, though. Nitro Cells from below dealing damage onto Ash. That's half her HP, but the cankles of Maestro are found, and Skies will take him down. An early pick for Rev, and Mute comes back for the refrag. No joy there. Yike now likely to use these Zofia stuns to help push this Mute out of the bathroom, but little do they know he's already back in sight, safe and sound. All players now anchoring. The attacker trying to find an early kill. Like fish in a barrel, the defenders must survive. There goes Kayed through the holes in the floor. That's two. Yigel and Ven each getting a kill. Og, though, with the refrag, but the SMG-11 will take down the Ash player. 2v4, this is looking familiar. Sophia from above tries to get some stuns down. Control Ven, and now Sakuse pushing for the plant control. Sakuse loses the gunfight to the Mute's SMG-11. Shotgun in hand, he needs to deny this plant now. Not able to creep by. Zofia puts down the last remaining defender, and we see another round go Rev's way. So we've just witnessed the downsides of playing predictably. Although a good strategy can carry you pretty far, the name of the game is adaptation. And once the attack was keen to this defense, I was honestly surprised how slow they took the top floor, how cautious they were, and how thorough they were in their droning. And it didn't seem to really hinder them, because once they had that top floor control and they realized, hey, they didn't change anything up at all. There are no roamers. There's simply the player and bathroom. Well, Thermite didn't peek the yellow door and didn't die this time. So it was basically a normal round otherwise. And they just executed. They just demolished TG, winning the gunfights through the floor with the Sledge and the Ash plays. And honestly, it was a great execute to witness. It was very well played and a great adaptation. So now we're going to see TG go back upstairs, not willing to give the basement another try. And we see a bit of adaptation here. Now we no longer have Mute, we have Mozzie instead, and we no longer have Goyo either. We have a Doc. It looks like TG's trying to adapt a little bit, and instead of hiding and waiting for Rev to come push them, they're gonna return with some aggression of their own. The Doc, able to take lots and lots of shots with a great gun in hand. He can really punish an Ash that gets overeager.
Locate a bomb and defuse it.
You can stop worrying about grenades now!
We'll see if this extra aggression pays off from TG, or if they will continue to be pushed late in the round and play passively. Zonky, a player to watch, had a great performance the first round, but unable to get kills. And the next two, some aggression comes out by Yikol, or not Yikol rather. The player on the balcony able to survive. That's Sakuse on the Nomad. The air jab, however, will survive and be placed above. That means no hop outs for Zonky.
My air jab is deployed.
Ash gets control of piano rather quickly, drones out, makes sure she's clear, and quickly dismantles the barbed wire on yellow staircase. It's gonna be a yellow stairs take. Doc here, ready to support the smoke. Smoke still has 2 toxic babes in hand, and soon to be 140 HP. The Overstim comes out now that he's full blind. One thing that you really don't want is a Smoke dying with toxic babes in his pocket. So he'll instead use them to stall the Ash's ascension up the yellow staircase. But she's wary of a flank. She'll wait it out. Nomad, the double hop out from the Maestro and Jaeger does not work out though. Nomad finds Maestro, but Jaeger gets up off the ground and gets the refrag. Sakusei down. And honestly, that's a turn for the better for the defense. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but now no more Nomad air jab and no more Nomad on the south side means that the defense can play a lot more lax in connector and play a lot more lax in projector. There's no more pressure there. Ash and Buck below, looking to make a push up yellow, waiting for some sort of flank to come out. Doc's still helping out his friend Smoke hold yellow stairs. Ash comes up and is obliterated by the M590. Great shot by Fire. He does not miss at that range. Thermite on the B window, looking for a free kill, but TG's playing it smart. They're not going to give him any free picks. Og finds the kill onto Yeikel. That aggressive dog play is what we were just mentioning. And what do you know? He wide peeks the Thermite, and with the ACOG in hand, he'll take off his head. The aggression pays off for TG, and Og hits his shots. Swift below. Looking for Ven, who's remaining in piano. TG won't give him any free kills. Mozzie's down here just to simply stall and waste as much time as possible. Smoke wide peeks, but is killed by Buck's shotgun, but Og, his third of the round, finds Ven on the yellow staircase, and that round goes to TG. My lord, that is a high sense there, my friend. Great round from TG. As I had said, they didn't seem to adapt very well on their garage hold, and well, they got punished for it. After getting slammed the previous round, they came back, adapted. They brought the Mozzie. He's a bit more frag potential than Mute traditionally, but almost equivalent utility. And then we saw the Goyo get replaced by Doc. MP5 in hand, the stem able to help the Smoke hold yellow. It just worked out fantastically. It was a lot more of an aggressive strat, and honestly, TG just really pinning down Rev. The over aggression from the Maestro and Jaeger, basically going out onto suicide to take down the Nomad. Brilliant play. Honestly, Maestro should have had the kill, but it didn't really matter. Zonky ended up cleaning up house, killing Sakusei, relieving all the pressure coming from the east half of, or from the south half of the map. So, well played, TG. That was fantastic round.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
The first time this matchup, though, we're going to see a lobby defense
Attackers
hold.
discovered the location of a bomb.
It looks like that Revenant was able to pin down TG's hold for Archives and Visa. Not able to get the win there, they will instead move to lobby. Lobby holds are interesting. I think although Consulate is starting to get figured out a bit more and the meta is becoming a bit more cemented, lobby is one of the more versatile holds. You can play it any way you want. You can play it with Pulse and another Nitro Cell player below to deny plants in default. You can roam with 4 or 5 people upstairs and simply deny plant through the holes in the floor. Or you can full anchor with Goyo, Maestro, and etc. There's just a million ways to play it, and they're all equally as effective. There's really no right way to hold this site. And I think that's why it's one of my favorites to watch, is because it's Consulate and it's a lobby hold. You're gonna see a lot of aggression, lots of gunplay, lots of action. None of that waiting for 90% of the round sort of stuff. The Nitro Cell flies out. Oh god, finds Yeikel. Absolutely brilliant from Og. That is a rather default Nitro Cell, believe it or not. Popularized by the Latin American Pro League. You kind of need to be ready for that. It's a very default repel, and Cycle's punished for being too predictable. Ash on the upside down repel for Console Office looks to get a refrag early on, but is unsuccessful as of yet. Mozzie and Zonky will hold top floor as best as they can.
Tossing a flashbang.
Ash will enter in. Here's the repel enter, peeks it with the Roni. No shots, but the Echo drone is up there with him. The Yokai stalling out the Ash's aggression. Yokai is destroyed as a result.
Drone activated.
You've lost some plant denial there, but in order to save Og's life, it's rather worth it. Zonky with a disgusting shot, just catching him in the nick of time, takes out Ven. The sledge repelling into admin. The top 4 take is just not working out for Skies as of yet. Sakusei's creeping towards the backside of the map. Zonky's not ready. Zonky lines up the refrag onto Skies though, kills Og. That's your Mozzie dead. Although with that much time wasted, Og had a great roam so far. Sakusei now Here's the call that Jaeger was sitting in break room. He needs to get this refrag rather quickly. Minute on the clock, it's 2v4. If he loses this gunfight, it's likely a lost round. Back to Zonky. It's a free kill for the Jaeger player, and it's all down to Control Freak. Still repelled on the console office window. He needs a miracle. The repel comes in. He'll need to frag out the remaining roamer. Zonky, though, with a tight angle, removes his head from the top of Visa's staircase, and just another great fragging round from Zonky. Long angles helping him keep control of console office with 2 kills and then fragging out the Nomad. Yes, he's dirty, but he's not unbeatable. And honestly, I think with a bit more refined timing of their push, the attack could have easily killed him. Once Zonky punished the player who first entered, I believe it was the Ash, who first entered console office, the Nomad was crouch walking into break room, too far to explosively push and get the refrag. And instead, it was a bit of a stall out. Thermite remained on the rappel, not entering. Or he was afraid of the Jaeger, of course. And Nomad was left alone to get this refrag on the Jaeger. Once that couldn't happen, well, that's 2 1v1s that Jaeger won. And Thermite was putting him in a third. And Zonky just doesn't miss those. So, great round, great roam. And there will be no chance for redemption for Rev, as that's the end of our half. With 4-2 in favor of TG, a favorable defensive half for them, but we'll see what Rev has in store for us in terms of defensive strategy.
The walls are reinforced.
So far, we already noticed a bit of a different philosophy for defending the top floor. We're going to not, first of all, we're not going garage first. We're gonna stick to our default primary site and projector and console office, and we're gonna bring out the Wamai. It was very interesting that TG opted not to bring Wamai, as he's really kind of exploded into the meta, able to deny Nomad jabs and Capital bolts. So with the Jaeger and Wamai combo, your nades aren't going to be as useful. Pulse and Mozzie roaming down below to get some intel. It'll be a heavy roam, and we'll see how TG handles it. The default Nomads do soar through the air. Fire on support, drums out admin, deems it's clear, and communicates to Zonky, hey, get up in there, get some control. Ash now crouch walking in lobby with her drone. What's likely going to happen is once the admin control is obtained, Ash will push the player who sits in projector out by ashing the floor below him. That'll force him to sprint away, where he can be caught off guard by the players horizontal to him.
Knock, knock.
Hibana opening up this sight line so that they can catch, I believe, who is the player there? It's a Smoke. So Smoke's gonna get Ash from beneath. The long angle opened up by the Hibana means that they can cut off his rotate. All that remains is long desk control, but Jaeger's here to deny that for them. This won't be easy, but we'll see if the attack is able to wrestle control from the Jaeger. Zonky the first to peek. Habano with the flashes, burning ADS and Wamai frisbees alike, and Og. What do you know, he called it out. He ashed the floor below the Smoke, and not only did he dislocate him, but he got himself a free kill. Pulse and Mozzie both spotted on the flanks by Ash, who gets another one. 5-7 in hand, he'll need to win this gunfight against the Og, or against the Ump, rather. And Yankel here trying to fight back, but IQ's there to support her teammate, and she'll dismantle him. Sekuse elsewhere refrags on the fire. There goes your Hibana, but her utility's already been used. Og and Zonky will enter into the site. Zonky takes down Sekuse. Jaeger wide swings. His own angle working against him now. Plant will be likely deployed by Zonky, hopefully soon. Maybe not. Yep, plant's going down. The attack pulls back and plays it smart, playing it carefully. Then needs to find 4 kills this round. His position is known. Crossfire not working for him. But Jaeger, if anyone can do it and clutch this round out, it's going to be Jaeger. Player to his right he's unaware of. It's going to be Zonky with Sledgehammer in hand. Bit of BM there coming out from TG. The spray is not working. Ash missing her shots as well, though. But he peeks close to the door, and his head is removed by Swift with a nice, clean headshot. Very well played by TG. An unknown language from Zonky in the chat. Perhaps excitement, who knows? Or frustration that his sledge kill was denied by his teammate. It was an interesting round. Overall, TG just kind of walked in and really out-fragged Rev. When pushing for admin, there was not really a whole lot utility to stall admin push. So they were basically given administration office for free. They pushed into break room. There was a player long desk, but that's a lot of map to give your opponent with basically no struggle. There was no Goyo shields to slow it down. There was, I don't think, a mute jammer on the door frame. And in the end, they got control, cut off the rotate for smoke, which wasn't even necessary because the Ash charge did the job itself. And with all 3 toxic babes still in his pocket, smoke dying early like that is just devastating. And once it went down, the attack had a lot of wiggle room and was able to just play smart, hold the crossfire angles they needed, and really just fish in a barrel Rev. With confidence shaken and their upstairs hold, we're going to see them resort to the garage hold. Not a bad deal, actually. Garage, in my opinion, is just as good as the upstairs hold, especially if you have a solid room above, which is what we're hoping to see with the Vigil pick from Skies.
Seconds to insertion. 5 seconds to go. Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
The attackers will now head out to defuse a bomb. We don't see Thermite in play, which is rather interesting. It looks like that TG was expecting a top floor hold again. And one of the more traditional ways to enter the building is from admin office. It's really hard for the defense to hold on to it. There's not a lot of cover. There's a lot of windows. And Ash is going to sprint on in. Likely with some drones to feed her intel, or simply on intuition that they don't roam. She sprints up, gets control of the top floor. Insanely quick. This break-and-neck roam clear speed is really... Where's the grass? Is really going to work for Og. Where's the grass on that? Anyhow. When you're defending, you really want to at least put up a fight on the roam. But we're going to see a heavy anchor come out. Vigil and Mute, with all walls reinforced, are going to look to just completely and utterly deny bathroom control to the attack. Just under 2 minutes remaining. A fantastic pace so far for the attack. They have plenty of time to Ash charge and sledgehammer the floor above the defenders.
Bomb located by attackers.
Ash now in dangerous territory on her drone right next to Mute. No laser to give away his position. Mute is waiting for someone to come within his range. Skies with SMG 12 in hand, or K1A in hand rather, ready for the refrag. If then is to put down. The sledgehammer goes out. Ash fires through the floor, likely as a form of bait though. 5-7 in hand. Why is the Mute not swinging here? Control Freak losing half his health for his troubles. Ben though playing it safe, trying to play life, and he knows he can return to site if he needs later. The bait does not work out for TG. The Mute will not swing. The drone flies through, but is destroyed by the Vigil. TG not quite sure what to do here, but Swift will find Yeikel. The roaming Jaeger has been dispatched. 2 players anchoring in sight, 2 in bathroom. The attack knows what they have to do now, but then finds the kill on the Ash, hits down Sledge, who takes a lot of damage, but the roam falls away. Ash was self-disposed of, taking down Swift. Great intuition, just game sense there. Drazzy though, on the IQ. LMG finds 2, but is put down and refracted by the Maestro. Now an even scenario. I take that back. Maestro put down by Zonky and his SMG 11. Zonky on 1 HP, fire planting. This is very winnable for Ven.
Attackers activating diffuser.
Sledge playing it safe, knows he's low HP.
On the diffuser. Attackers
And with the other attacker down, fire now dead on the ground, essentially. 1v1, Ven has all the advantage. Zonky's gonna play it very slow. Play as safe as can be. His downed player is basically a human drone at this point. He can tell him, hey, in the doorway, hey, in the rotate. So Zonky will know exactly where to expect the last remaining defender. Suspicion that he's above, but the shots won't hit for Ven. He has to defuse now. Sledge from above. Ven will stick the plant though, and the drop from Zonky denies the plant right before it's too late. A great attack from TG. That new SMG-11 buff is just insane. The sledgehammer replacing the iron sights really gave him the advantage there, able to put down the poor remaining mute. Great round from TG. Honestly, if they hadn't had as much time, if there had been maybe a bit more utility upstairs, even maybe just a couple mute jammers really, or Mozzie pests, they wouldn't have been able to open as many holes in piano as they did, open as many holes outside of the bathroom hallway. And once the mute took down the Ash and just ruined the sledge, to be honest, who ended up being the clutching player, he dropped. Vigil had already dropped before, and the mute decided to fall back as well. And I'm not quite sure if I would agree with the play. Traditionally, yes, you want to fall back as soon as you feel the pressure so you don't risk dying and losing that defender. But you took one player down and you know you lit one up with the, shotgun blast to the center mass. So and with the shotgun at that range, I'm not really sure if he should have dropped or tried to fight for that upstairs control. As soon as the control for the upstairs was lost by the defenders, the attack felt a lot more safe and the plant was able to go down and be covered from lobby. But in the end, it's easier for me to say that. Hindsight 2020, I can see outlines through walls. They, of course, can't. But we're going to try this one more time and see if Rev can make it work. Same exact op select. Oh, so Vigil's out here decimating the plants, unfortunately. So that you can't hide drones there, you can't hide people there. I've actually never seen that before, but it makes sense.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Not a whole lot of adaptation here. We're gonna see Ven and Skies hold bathroom. Yakel giving them a few ADS.
Reloading.
The same exact take as before for the attackers, repelling into admin and racing through the top floor. We'll see if Yakel will give him a headache. Nope, he's still in sight. Vigil and mute. Training for their, I don't know, maybe side gigs as a plumber. Investigating the toilets. Actually a pretty cool angle here. You've never seen this before by Skies. You're able to deny a bit of the yellow stairs door, the yellow piano hatch. Just kind of make the attackers be wary. They can't just roam freely. But unfortunately, we all know that holes do work both ways, and with Sledge in play, that hole is prime for tossing a nade through. Or shooting through. Zonky on the third floor looking for a pretty cheeky angle that we saw Rev use a second ago. And it will force Ren down to that cell. Og. Ash player dead once again without a kill. Great extra cells worked twice, same location. Why change it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Hibana now danger close to this Vigil player. SMG 12 in hand, he will shred any attacker who gets too close. They do fall back and go for the soft breach though. Perhaps unaware that there is still a player in bathroom. Sledge and Swift will begin opening the floor. Kayad loses a lot of health to Sledge and it is put down by Zonky. But SMG K1A in hand, a good refrag from Skies. Can't forget about bathroom. They didn't run it out. They didn't make sure that both players had dropped and they were punished for it. Impacts come out, doing no damage to Swift, who would peek it. SMG 12 and prone though. Vigil takes down Nomad. That's 2 free kills for him. No refrag in sight. Drazi denying his drop down to sight, but at this point, Skies is dedicated. He will die in the bathroom before he loses control. Knowing this though, Fire and Jazzy walk down the yellow staircase
A bomb has been
looking for a
located.
more aggressive take.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
Drazi takes down one, but Habanas loses to the Alda. Drazi takes down another, that's Control Freak. Your anchors are now dead.
15 seconds left.
Skies above, getting shots onto Drazi through the
10
floor.
seconds remaining.
Grabs the diffuser. Not a whole lot of time left though. This is not going to be winnable,
5
unfortunately.
seconds to go.
He has to stick the plant. They know this. Skies is going to drop in, confirm the kill. Great hold by Rev. Good try by TG. Unfortunately though, Skies here unwilling to lose another round and let Tenacity take the win for free.
Defenders have disabled the bomb
3
diffuser.
big monstrous
Defender
kills
mission
from Skies will save them and keep them in the game. Not sure if it was a bit of ego there, perhaps just a misstep. Not quite clearing the bathroom. They know that the mute had dropped a nitro cell to teammate, but perhaps they didn't expect the visual to still remain. What else was interesting is that we didn't see a thermite there. Usually you see the thermite because you can open up the triple wall and put more pressure onto the defenders. You can really just fish in a barrel them, pin them down. The Kayed in the end was still dispatched of through the floor pretty simply by the sledge. But it was an interesting choice to not bring the thermite. 6 picks from Castle to Pulse and Ash to Zoph. A bit of a comfort swap in all likelihood for Og. Yeikel shows the castle. A castle show makes me assume that you're going to be holding Teller's archives, personally.
Defenders,
So
protect
perhaps
your
they're trying to
bombs
trick
from
the
being
attackers
defused by
into thinking
attackers.
that it will be a Teller's archives hold, when in fact it's going to be an upstairs hold. And in general, hiding the Pulse is always a good pick. See if they find him out. But if you can really hide that you've brought Pulse, you can really give yourself a huge advantage and just have the sneaky little bugger hide down in the basement and strike when the time is right. See one thing that I think goes unnoticed is how at high levels of competitive play, the drone placement is really just
10 seconds
effective.
left.
Swift leaves his drone here so that once they push into admin, he can just pick it up, toss it in. If he
5
dies, he
seconds
has the
left.
second one in his pocket. Fire, the same thing. 2 support players saving theirs to throw in
Attackers
later.
must locate and defuse a bomb.
But the entry fraggers will pre-place them in rooms because they're the ones entering. They're not going to be on their drones as much, so they're going to leave it in places where once they die after entering, they can still provide intel to their team.
My device is ready.
And as I had before mentioned, having a pulse in secret can really be an advantage to you, but IQ will spot him out rather quickly and telegraph that information to her team, who will no longer brazenly enter Visa. Drones come out to clear out the rest of the bottom floor. Where is Sonky? I think we're going to see a push from Garage from the Sophia, yep, to try to get rid of the Pulse and Mozzie down below. They know there's 2 roamers. They're going to chase for the frags and see if they can take this early advantage. Mozzie hears the drone. It sees him. Og
Detonating.
giving the intel. The Nitro Cell covering some sound. Stun goes through. Mozzie's now incapacitated. Prone on the floor though. He will lose. Og does not miss that headshot. Great shot from him, but Yeikel here playing aggressively for the refrag, and Ven will hit that refrag on the Jaeger. He pushes down the low staircase and finds an attacker with his pants down.
Attackers have located
Yeikel
a
looks for
bomb.
more intel. Og wary of another flanker.
Reloading.
Swift and Fire trying to drone and get actual admin and long desk control, while Og decides it's not worth it to take the one-on-one versus Yeikel and will turn to the rest of his team. He needs the bomb diffuser. He'll get it.
Scanning.
Sekuse holds the shield on long desk with his 1-eye frisbees able to protect him. You can see a couple in the top left corner. The ADS and the 1-eye frisbees will be burnt away by those flashbangs.
Deploying.
But the magic of 1-eye lets him bring another. He deploys it. Control Freak with SMG 11 at that close range will shred through Og. That's your Sophia pinned down. Smoke with 3 toxic babes in hand. Not looking good for the attack. Swift kills Yeikel, but he but Yeichel refrags onto fire.
Beauties are
Plastic Gate flies through the air. Not that it matters. Saikuse with a great shot onto Zonky.
Nest in position.
Last players Long Desk and Saikuse basically, I believe, downs the Nomad there, and Control Freak's Toxic Babe will finish her. Let's see on the kill cam. Yep, it looks like the player in bathroom, actually, the Jaeger, downed her, and then the smoke finished her. Great defensive hold, honestly. The roam downstairs, although Mozzie died early, his utility was already down. They wasted a lot of time, and in that situation, not much you could do there. But Yeichel played it smart, stayed alive, and didn't. And he kind of just made Zofia worry. Zofia, like, you had 3 players on the attack trying to get control of Long Desk, and Zofia is one of the best players to help you there, because you can impact that shield that Wamai was using. You can Zofia stun the smoke instead of meeting, but because Pulse had Zofia occupied in the basement, it meant the attack just stalled out. They faced 2 shields and they lost to both. So honestly, although the roam may not have looked super flashy or fraggy, it was fantastic. It was very well held.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
One thing I haven't seen in a long time is a Rook in competitive play. We're going to see Ven bring it out.
Unrolling razor wire.
So if you don't quite know how Rook works, essentially he just, if you're Vigil and you're a 3-speed 1 armor, picking up Rook's armor plates make you a 3-speed 2 armor. The benefits of such is, well, you obviously take more damage before being downed and put in the DBN state, but I think more usefully is you resist explosive damage a bit more. So nades aren't as lethal anymore. I believe it's almost impossible to die to a frag grenade if you have Rook armor. It will down you at super close range, but you really cannot be naded very easily.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb.
So he does have his advantages, although they are rather situational. But more importantly, I feel like they're going to bring him because you can resist nades and, more importantly, bring this really heavy frag potential. MP5 with ACOG is one of the best guns that the defense has. So in the hands of Ven, they're going to see if they can make it work. It being match point, the frags are going to become more and more important here for Revenant. There's no more room for failure. It'll be their staple top 4 clear. I think the last 4 rounds, TG has entered from the exact same place, from admin office, every single time. It's extremely predictable, and I'm very surprised that Rev doesn't contest it more than they do. But I guess you don't really need to. It's really it's easier said than done, honestly, to contest admin hold. As aforementioned, Zofia is really useful for pushing onto Long Desk because she can Zofia away any shields or evil eyes that are in your way. This guy's in Smoke's default position. Ven is downed. What do you know? The nade comes out from yellow stairs. There's no points in this mode. He does not know that he downed him. And Rook's life was saved by the armor plate. Now in a DBN state, he can be revived and brought back into the match. Skies, though, misses all of his shots onto the upside down repelled player. Frosty gets the kill. Zonky now also on the console office window looking to get the kill onto Vigil, but is refragged from the Rook. What do you know? Rook's life was saved by his Rook armor plates. He was revived and as a result takes down one of the best fraggers on TG. Swift, though, taking down Yeichel. The Vigil, who was low, finished off. That's top 4 control for TG with a minute left. They're in good shape to make this attack work. Ven holding an off angle here, trying to be a bit unpredictable with this little health left. It's a smart play. MP5 in hands, that can go his way. The soft breach will begin. Breaching charges in Aug's hands, right above the Maestro. He'll tuck himself back in the bathroom, giving himself a late flank should he need it. Toxic babes do fly in the air. 1 remaining, though. Plant will go down soon. Default Plant going down from fire. His team is supporting him from above, almost exclusively, though. Drazzy takes out Ven. Maestro needs to refrag now. But IQ sees his barrel long before he sees her. And TG will win that round. A great attack from them. A great game overall. GG's come out from both teams. TG just had a lot of momentum in the beginning, and it was really hard to come back from that if you're Rev. Pretty even scoreboard, to be honest, from TG. Also pretty even from Rev. It looks like that game didn't really fall down to frags, as we can see from the scoreboard. It really came down to execution and timing, coordination. And honestly, TG's attack coordination was superb. Their droning was extremely effective. The way that they played for their entries with their supports, coordinating was just great. So I think the coordination just really won the day there for TG. So GG's to both teams. Thank you for stopping by, guys. I hope you have a great evening. Stay safe and stay well. And we'll see you next time. Good night.